better not have no plans tonight.
Movie time and it's feeling right.
You're looking for a love that lasts. You'll find it at Romancing the Podcast. Ooh, ooh, baby, you had me at hello. Ooh, I love you.
I know.
Ooh, ooh, baby, you're the wind beneath my wings. Ooh, ah, I'll have what she's having.
Hey guys, so Paige didn't bring her mic on her trip. She thought she did, but she didn't. She literally brought everything else except the mic. So we recorded this one just off Zoom. I'm going to sound normal. Paige is going to sound like she's on a Zoom call because she is. Stick with us though. This episode goes places. Let's do this.
So glad we're still recording for this. While I tried to turn that fan off, it got me in the tit.
While you were gone, I recorded a trigger warning for the audio quality on your side.
I was about to come back and do one, and then I was like, ow, right in the nip.
At least it's 8 a.m. for you.
It is. It's so nice.
Now I know how you feel every Saturday or Sunday morning.
Hardly awake. Yeah, but that's okay because we got to talk about this movie.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning into Romancing the Pod. You had us at hello. I'm Paige Wesley.
And I'm Timu Ryan Gosling Todd. And this week, Paige made us watch Jewel of the Nile. So, Paige, was this the first time you saw this movie?
It was.
Me too.
I just knew there was a sequel and we hadn't done it.
We had not. And wow. I was a little shook by this movie in like a very, wow, this was the 80s kind of a way.
Ooh, I feel like the people who made this movie saw Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom and they were like, nobody could possibly be more culturally insensitive than that movie. And then this movie was like, hold my beer. We're going to make all of the Sufis jugglers. Don't ask why. They only juggle.
Hang on.
When they're in battle, they juggle. When they're in celebration, they juggle. When they try to teach people their ways, they juggle.
As a juggler, I feel like I have to say this. Juggling's awesome and everyone should learn how to do it. And they were cool because they could do it.
Here's the thing. It's not that they weren't cool. I was just like, what an interesting choice. What a shocking and strange choice.
I just assumed that I don't know that culture. I just assumed they were really big in rent fairs. Like they just loved rent fairs.
That's why they were in
so
the
everyone
tents.
knew how to juggle. Yeah, I don't know. That's why I learned it.
Oh my God. No, I was like, what is happening? What is happening? Why did they choose this? Who chose this?
Paige, I was honestly super confused. Like for the first 10 minutes of this movie, because it's shot kind of like a Lifetime movie of the era.
Oh my God, yes.
But also I was like, wait, who is this person? Because it had been so long since we had seen Romancing the Stone.
Yes.
I literally called her Joanne until Just Joan became a thing. And I was like, oh shit, no, her name is Joan, not Joanne. Because I had forgotten. Like I think Romancing the Stone was our 100 episode. We're in the 300s.
Right.
That was years ago.
That was years ago.
So I had no idea what was happening. Although I was a little mad by the end of this movie. They never really explained, like, why was Jewel in denial? Like, what was she, like, working on? Like, what happened in her life that she was in denial about? I thought we were going to get, like, a how Stella got her groove back, but for Kathleen Turner's character.
Recording artist Jewel.
Yeah, it would have been great.
I feel like it's because Jewel put out that first album. She had that snaggletooth, and then like subsequent albums just didn't do as well. And so she was in denial about her own abilities, even though she is a fantastic songwriter and folk performer in her own right, snaggletooth aside.
But wouldn't you have loved to see, like, I don't know, Jewel go to Marrakesh and been like, who will save my soul while I'm hanging out in Marrakesh?
I have been to Marrakesh. That's one of the weird, cool cities. Yeah, I bought spices in a market in Marrakesh one time. Rode a camel.
The rode a camel tag is what got me.
Rode a camel.
One hump or two.
Oof, magoof, this movie.
Paige, this movie is basically Douglas of Arabia. Like, it's so offensive, and yet, like, I couldn't stop watching it because it's nuts. Like every African in this movie is just a Greek guy, and they're not trying to hide it. Like,
Or a horrifying stereotype.
oh yes, yeah. So like the further this is like a part of the problem. Like the further you
Yes.
get quote into Africa, the like more tribal and like it's really not great. Like it's honestly terrible.
Right.
But it's wild. Like it's one of those things that like I wonder if like Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner are like, we don't have to go back and watch that one, guys. Like we can just like
Yeah, no.
forget that one exists.
It's in what do you mean it's out on video?
I say all that to say, because like it looks like they're having so much fun in the movie. Danny DeVito's having so much fun in this movie.
He's in his own movie.
I'm sure they enjoyed making it at the time and whatever, but it does not age well at all.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like it aged like fine milk.
Yeah, here's the even crazier thing. Not only is this wildly racist and insensitive,
Yes. Yeah.
it doesn't even make a ton of sense sociopolitically for the time, which is crazy because they're like clearly trying to do a Saddam or like a Muammar Gaddafi kind of a thing.
Sure. Oh yeah. You with Omar?
They're all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. With German iconography. But then
Paige, when he comes out at the end like he's about to play the most German rendition of Freebird, I laughed my ass off because it looked like he was about to like play a guitar solo, not get coronated or whatever.
in my notes, it just has in all caps "Springtime for Hitler" because I swear to you that is the same backdrop.
It's springtime for Omar in the Nile.
Yeah, in which African country? They're not getting too specific.
Paige, it's just generally the Nile. There's no
Nile.
country. And they say they're uniting 5, I think, tribes or regions or whatever.
They say 12 tribes, and I'm like,
Great.
What? Wait.
I love that.
Okay. Yes.
That's great news. I'm so glad that that's what they said. It's fantastic.
I was like, anyway, all of that is a problem. All of it. But the bigger problem with not bigger, it's the same. I don't want to offend anyone by downplaying any of those problems. They are huge.
Yes, they are.
But another problem is that this movie has 30 minutes of story that it tries to stretch into 90 minutes. Impossible. And at a certain point, like you said, you couldn't stop watching it. I could not stop 10 seconds skipping ahead of this movie because nothing was happening.
I mean, there are like long actions. I'll just say it this way. Like if you've got Danny DeVito doing stunts,
Yeah.
like you're doing too much action. Like you don't need Danny DeVito doing stunts. He does so much else better.
They are in that plane
Bitch.
for 15 to 20 minutes.
And doesn't he fly that plane just like an American, just running other things off the road with it? I thought it was so funny that they like literally blow up the base with a plane.
They basically get in a car chase with a plane.
I know,
And they blow up
Paige.
space with a plane.
It's the only movie I've ever seen with a slow speed plane chase.
Yes, it is. The best part about it is when the jewel goes, "This is my first time in an airplane."
I know.
I lost my
I
mind.
know.
I lost my mind.
Honestly, the jewel is one of my favorite like things in this movie altogether. The dude is just like a god. I honestly think he's a god, but also like
He has powers.
very silly. Yeah, he does have powers.
Yes.
He can control dry rot. He could walk through fire. And I do like that. And every time he does something that's quote magical, it is also like explained away. So like the walking through the fire thing, they kind of explain away with the Danny DeVito coal walking bit.
Right.
And then the pulling the window out of the wall or the bars at the prison was just like, it's dry rot.
Yeah.
But it probably wasn't. You just have no way to verify that now because it's already been ripped out.
Well, and also that means he could have escaped at any time.
Well, yeah, I think,
And chose not to.
Okay, now let's get into it though, because Paige, I think he was waiting for her. Because when she said we've got to get out of here or whatever, then the jewel risk.
Oh, maybe you are the one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think he was waiting there for her. My watch just said I'm in a room that's too loud for my ears. So I'm in a soundproof room by myself, Apple Watch.
It can hear the planes that I'm hearing. I also feel like I wish the movie had set up more things like that so that like it made more sense. But then the movie just occasionally forgets the jewel is there
Right.
and does like a 10-minute long action sequence. and then just occasionally pans off to the side where he's just like sitting and waiting for it to be over, which is madness, absolute madness. Because truly, and this is going to sound insane, but I promise I can back myself up. This movie is trying to be Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
100%.
100%. They're doing it badly, and he is short round, and they do not know what to do with him. There's no scene where he's like slapping Harrison Ford awake. Like he's not playing cards.
Honestly, and he's written kind of childlike in the way he speaks to people and like just his like innocent, loving, silly nature. And I mean that kind of as a compliment. I wish we all were like this.
Oh, yes. It made me wonder if the role was originally written to be a child.
Yeah.
And then they were like, we couldn't get anybody. I don't know. I feel like half of this movie is like, oh yeah, we meant to write more stuff and we just ran out of time. Like, because again, so the plane sequence is like 20 minutes.
Right.
The train sequence is like another 15 minutes or whatever. It goes on forever. When we get to the end and we're at the very strange Nazi rally with juggling, they cut back and forth to Omar's speech, and it's literally just him making a speech, and he's just like gesturing, and then a shot of the crowd cheering, and there's 3 of those.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we needed 1 of these. Like, but it's because they don't have enough of anything else to fill the movie. I'm convinced they shot everything they had and the movie was 45 minutes long. And they were like, oh no.
Find me the B-roll. Someone who took B-roll. Find me the second unit. Somebody give me your footage. Like 100% Paige. They threw in as much B-roll they could find.
Yes.
This is the originating Shutterstock. Like they went to tape on this.
Yes. I need as many shots as I can of them outside this jet that we paid so much money for.
And then cut the wings off of.
And then cut the wings off of as they're driving through this city that is absolutely a set from some horrifyingly racist old movie, but we're going to make it work in the middle of the desert. Like it is. And they literally at a certain point, Michael Douglas is like, will you marry me? I'm not afraid of it anymore. And I'm like, why? The 2 of you've barely spoken in this film.
Paige, because she did the dance. Because she did the dance, Paige.
Because she did the dance.
And honestly, it's because they're living the romance novel she can't complete. Like, that is what is happening.
Which is the same in the first movie, too. But, yeah.
Exactly. They're sticking to the formula that worked in the first one, but this one doesn't work nearly as well.
No, and the first one actually has, like, a cohesive adventure story where it's like she gets kind of tricked and then she gets stranded and then they're like trying to find her sister and then they're trying to find the thing and they like go through the jungle and interact with people. It's like they have natural movement through the story. This movie is like, what if somebody went up to a whiteboard and is like, John Wilder? Plain profit ? Like, and that was their script.
And then some executive in the back was like, throw in some general racism.
General racism was Omar's right-hand guy.
But Paige, yeah, I mean, say what you will about the movie, like it does not age well. I do think we'll have a good time going through it scene by scene because there are some silly beats and some fun things that happen that we'll be able to talk about. But I thought it was cool that Michael Douglas did a bunch of his own stunts in this. There's one where he like jumps out and like slides down that like, I don't know what it is. It's like cloth that's hanging from the roof to the like ground. And he like jumps off like the 5th story and like hugs onto it and goes all the way down. And there was not a net there. I was like, damn, that's kind of great. And I was also impressed that like Kathleen Turner did all her own stunts, but she was wearing a skirt and heels. Like she was crushing it more or less. Although I don't think it was all her own stunts, but it's a ton of like stunt work. They probably didn't do everything, but they did a lot.
It's like the Ginger Rogers thing of like, she did everything Fred Astaire did, but backwards in heels.
Oh, that's kind of where I got that idea because I love that quote of, and it's true. It's 100% true.
Yeah.
But anyway, I thought that was cool. Oh, and at the end, when it's revealed, Paige, that the way that Omar's trying to kill them is directly from her bestseller, I was like, damn, Omar could have actually won this war.
Yeah.
If he hadn't like got wrapped up in the kill your ex-wife's favorite author side quest or whatever he was on.
I thought they were setting up for he didn't read any of her novels bit, which they had also already established that they were like traveling for 6 months on a boat
Yeah.
and like had been at sea this whole time.
He was too busy, like, going skiing by the side of the boat to annoy her while she's trying to, like, write or whatever, to have read a book while he's on a 6-month vacation page. That's like when you read.
That is when you read.
Yeah.
If you can read. Maybe Michael Douglas can't read.
That would not be shocking to me.
That would not be shocking. But if we remember the last movie, tough, because it was years ago.
We don't. Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. They basically end the jewel heist with Danny DeVito and then leave. And it's implied leave from there to go on this 6-month vacation. They've been together for 6 months.
Yeah.
And she, in the first movie, is established to have written many, many books.
I mean, she's a world famous author. Yeah.
She's a world famous author. So she's basically like, let's call her Stephen King.
She's the Stephen King of smut, Paige. Let's just say it.
Love that. But how dare you slander Sierra Simone?
I love that is for sure a famous author, and I have no idea who that person is.
Not a clue. So she's like the Stephen King of her day.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Of smut.
Yes.
And so that's a ton of books. They have not been in port, she establishes, for 6 months. Where would he even buy one? So unless she traveled with her entire catalog, maybe they come across a few in town occasionally. But also, if someone gave you 6 months to read Stephen King's entire catalog, you could do it. But that'd be most of what you were doing.
Yeah. But I mean, like, what is there to do when you're like sailing on a boat? I mean, although I don't know that they were out for 6 months. Like
that's what the movie says.
There's not enough like place to store just basic stuff that you would need for that amount of time in 6 months. I thought she said, we've been doing this 6 months. I need some shore leave because she just wanted to get off the fucking boat.
Yes.
And like go stay in a town and like get rid of the sea legs for a bit. But I mean, either way, like
I think what it is that like they're sleeping on the boat.
Yeah, they're living on it more or less. Yeah.
They're living on it, but they're really close to port. So they're probably going in and out daily, or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
But like even then, even if he had every single one of those books, unless he's I'm a fast reader. Like I know not everyone reads as fast as I do. So like double or triple the time it would take me to read Stephen King's entire back catalog. Hey, even at my rate, I'd be struggling for 6 months just to like,
yeah, I mean, Paige,
keep it going.
If it was me and Natalie had written all those books and we were now on a 6-month sailing vacation and hopefully there's a crew because ain't no way I know how to do all that, I would definitely just be like, unless you brought the audiobook, like you're going to have to read it to me, baby. Because I can't, like, I'm not going to be able to sit still for that long. I can't do it. I'm so sorry.
Here's the thing. Maybe 1 or 2 days a week, I might sit and read for a few hours, or whatever, like while I'm on vacation doing other things. And it's established that like she turned in her last manuscript or whatever, I'm assuming by mail. And like she is now going to receptions for the release of that book, which the timing of that is impossible because it would take like another year of editing before it even came out.
Right. And that book already has like some fans because it's out now, Because
it's out now.
Yeah.
And like, imagine this. Okay. I almost did something crazy yesterday. And like, I almost sent you a screenshot of me walking in Midtown with a caption that just said, "Does anyone know a sit-down Quiznos in Midtown?" And I'm like, this is such a niche reference that like 30 Rock reference that only Todd and a handful of people would get. But like, that's what it is in the end of the movie. It's like, if I was like, hey, remember that episode where Tracy was on Cash Cab? And like you do, but like I'd better hope that you have an encyclopedic knowledge.
Right. Yes, I understand what you're saying. Like you have to have just like a hyper targeted knowledge to get this or for this to land.
For it to land, yes.
And this movie came out in 1985, which is the same year that Back to the Future came out. So remember when we talk about the quality of the first like 15 minutes of the movie, Back to the Future came out this year.
Oh, I feel like this might be a crazy take.
Tell me.
And this is the year after Temple of Doom, so I'm sure they were rushing to get through this, and that's why there's no script. I thought the opening scene was deliberately bad, a la Princess Bride.
I think it is. I think it's on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
her like trying to write the
Yes.
next romance novel. And yeah, I 100% think it's on purpose.
Yeah.
And I kind of love it. I'm not even joking. I kind of love it.
I did not hate it. I was like, this is kind of funny.
We should just like, I don't know, maybe go through the movie scene by scene since we're already sort of getting into the intro.
Let's do it. And if we don't talk about this fast enough, Michael Douglas will come and ruin our internet so that no one hears about this movie, as he has already tried to do twice today.
Yes.
Sabotage.
Saboteur.
Sabotage.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that great guitar riff. Sabotage. Not going great. It's not going great. We open on, quote, a day like no other. And it's a pirate wedding.
It is kind of a pirate wedding. Honestly, Paige, the first opening is like they shot Penzance for a Lifetime movie, and I'm kind of here for it because it's like campy pirates attacking, I don't know, a mid-18th century Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner. It's like sort of an indiscriminate time period. It could be 1500s to like 1880s.
Right. You have no idea.
Right.
But it does look, and they did like the perfect like orangey red backdrop and her crazy dress and his crazy hair.
It looks like the cover of a romance novel.
Yes.
That's what they were going for. And I think they land it. I think they do.
Absolutely. They land it. But essentially, this also, like every scene in the movie, goes on 3 times too long.
Yeah, well, that's all they had, Paige. That's all they had.
That's all they had.
They're literally at this point clipping together dailies and just praying it's 90 minutes. Like
just clipping together like more and more pirates coming onto the ship. It's like too many cooks. Like this reminds me of like an Adult Swim thing where they're like, it'll be funnier if we have too many people go. Like there's a scene in Too Many Cooks where a character spins to activate their like superpowers and it never activates and they just kind of keep spinning and slowing down and speeding up and slowing down and speeding. That's what this feels like, because a bunch of pirates like raid the boat and they're like, we're here to sexually assault your women because people forgot that most pirates are gay. And like
Yar?
Just like historically, we did a whole, I don't remember even why we did this, but we did like a 5-episode arc on pirates on Cult Podcast. I think to talk about like the Dutch East Indies Company and shit. Sometimes we just get into history.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Could it be that they're just like by and like any port in a storm kind of a situation at sea? I don't know.
Very much so.
Yeah.
There are documented like kind of like hobos and yeggs, if you're familiar with the
I hate so much that I know what you're talking about.
The road ramblers of
Yes.
the early 1900s. Like that. There's like that, but for pirates because they were at sea all the time.
Yeah.
And then also lady pirates as well. Anyway, these pirates, no, starved for that puss. I'm sorry.
They just want to get your clams. But Paige,
Yep.
the scene goes on way too long for it not to be a musical number introducing the Pirate King.
Right, right.
There's no reason Michael Douglas couldn't have like got in like I am the Pirate King, because he's doing campy sword fighting and doing like a stunt work that looks half-assed on purpose. It's on purpose, guys. But it is sort of like, that didn't look great, you know? Like,
no, they look like they're about to break into the Cabin Fever song from Muppet Treasure Island. And like, frankly, I would have preferred like.
Yes. Honestly, make this a musical. That's all I'm saying. It would be worse, but somehow better.
Somehow better. But I really just personal preference puppet musical. I just need a couple clueless Morgans in there with the like, huh? Like, yes. Wall-eyed Pike? Aye, aye. Anyway, they board the ship and for some reason, I guess there's no lifeboats. It's like that weird cruise ship full of poop. And like.
Are you talking about that poop cruise? Yeah.
Poop cruise? Of course I watched that documentary. You put poop in the name.
You know what you did, Netflix.
You know you did, Netflix. Did I also watch every other train wreck documentary? Yes.
Paige has been traveling. You can tell.
Yeah. Paige be in hotel rooms. What's up? Anyway, they board the ship and then Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner are like, only one of us can escape. which is insane. Unless there were, because it implies that either there's only one lifeboat and there's only one spot left in it.
Right.
But everyone else has long abandoned this boat to the point where I'm like, so is there only one boat? Are you only going to put one person per boat? It makes no sense.
I thought there was only one boat and it was already full of the rest of their crew who had boned out the immediate moment that Pirates of Penzance attacked.
Yeah, they're like, dance pirates, no. And they like,
Yeah.
don't. And so them arguing over you go, no, you go, no, you go. And she's like, you go, I insist, because I have cough, cough consumption. And he's like, why didn't you tell me? I'm out.
I did love it. He was just like, yeah, then if you don't have much to live, I do, so I'm gonna go. You just stay here and get horribly, horribly assaulted by these.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume at least by pirates.
Right.
And then we're gonna go. We'll see you never. Bye.
We'll see you never. And it was crazy.
It was crazy.
that he would just be like, oh, for real? Cool. I'm gonna go give more 1800 syphilis to some other ladies. Allow me.
Well, at least you'll die before my nose falls off. Love you.
Love you. Bye. Anyway, but then she cuts because she's like, no, that doesn't work. Because she's literally standing on the boat. She's like, as I waited for my fate, and I'm like, this what? And then she's like, no, I can't end it that way. And I was like, yeah, no, you cannot.
But she's woken up from that horrible book-ending stupor by Michael Douglas skiing and then spraying her with water as she's trying to write this.
This made me angry.
I know, me too, Paige, because I was like, okay, there's only two of them, and he's being pulled by something. Who's driving that boat?
Oh my God. I didn't even think about that, Todd.
What?
Todd.
That's not what you were mad about? Because that's clearly the only thing you could have been mad about. Not about how he's terribly treating his girlfriend of at least 6 months.
I was mad because she's on a typewriter.
Oh, yeah.
Which means that every time he splashes her, he ruins her manuscript.
She throws it into the ocean at the end of this scene.
Which means she has to redo all of it. It's not like there's a saved copy. That's why she's 3 months late on her deadline. She keeps throwing her whole books away. What? Also, the idea that a writer just is like, all right, cracks knuckles, time to write book, and just sits down and straight types a full book out in one sitting is crazy to me.
You know that famous motto, first draft, last draft, get it out the door?
I hate that motto. It's a bad one. Don't do that. For some things I was recently submitting for and doing coverage on other people's, I can't tell you how many times I told people not to turn their first drafts in, where I was like, no, give this one another, give it another pass or whatever.
Let it cook.
Let it cook.
Yeah.
And so many people turned first drafts in. Never turn your first draft. The editing process serves to make your work better by catching things you don't see.
Yeah. Honestly, Paige, I've never turned in a draft.
Ever. But you didn't turn in a first one, and that makes it better.
I don't know that it does. At least the first draft people wrote something.
That is true. They got it to the paper.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
But I was so angry about the manuscript, I didn't even think about the fact that he's being pulled by an invisible boat.
Yeah, he's skiing.
He's skiing.
Seemingly on his own. I mean, we never really see who's pulling him. I assume it was a motorboat of some sort, but we never see it really. Yeah.
Right.
Is it just like Danny DeVito? Has he always been there? Because he seems to just appear as a trash goblin later in this. So, what is happening? I don't know, but...
I'm the trash man.
I know, Paige. He comes out of the trash. I know. Yeah, okay.
Throw trash. This is like a SEAL Team 6 level dumb thing I'm about to admit.
More than that you didn't notice that he was not being pulled by anyone, really?
Not only did I not notice that he wasn't being pulled by anyone, I thought he was being pulled by her boat.
She is on her boat, Paige.
I know.
And her boat is in port, it seems.
It's not moving. And I did not think about that because I was just like, is she just driving him around while he water skis all day? Flashing her manuscript, which would be impossible if she was driving. Oopsie daisies.
I think it's called piloting a boat, not driving a boat.
You know?
I actually don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not a boatist.
You don't know. I'm learning all about trains because I'm taking a lot of trains, and was like, the conductor, the driver of the train.
Yeah, just like he drives the symphony. Did you guys know that every person who directs a symphony also has to be a licensed train conductor? You're not allowed to hold the title unless you can do both.
They don't even give you that tiny stick till graduation. Do you get to choose your own tiny stick? Do you buy a tiny stick?
Honestly, Paige, you do, and there's a lot of, they're like wands. I'm not even joking. There are different types. There are like back-weighted or mid-weighted. It's like a whole thing that I never got into because I never wanted to be a conductor, but I had friends that like went that route. And yeah.
I have follow-up questions.
Please direct them to someone who knows. I only know very little.
You're in front of me right now.
Oh God, this is okay. Hit me with it.
Are there non-stick people, like non-stick purists?
Non-stick. Oh, the people. Yes, there are some that don't believe you need it, and it's like beneath people to use one. Yes.
Amazing. Okay, and then for the people with the stick weight. Is it because you're holding it in that cramped hand position for so long?
Paige, I fucking hate that God. Okay. Oh, I hate that I know this. Okay.
Tell me everything.
Yeah. So the back-weighted ones, they like shake in your hand more. So there's more play with them.
Okay.
And the mid ones you can hold, you can have more of a fulcrum on and you can hold more steady. And so it's really just the style of conductor you are. If you want to have a little swingy play in your, God, I hate that I know this, your baton, or if you want to be very rigid with it, like whatever. I hate that. I hate me so much.
Right. Like if you want to go, but true conductors do it raw is what you're saying.
Honestly, yes.
All my choir directors I ever had did it raw. I hate that. I hate that name. But they were all hand people. So
Paige, that does not help it not sound creepy.
That doesn't sound better.
Tell me what kind of school you went to.
Ooh.
Oh, was it a Christian private school, Paige?
It was,
Good God.
it was.
Good God.
Oh,
Could
no.
you not make it clearer, please? I really, truly want to apologize for the derailment about orchestra batons.
I never saw a stick like that till I went to the professional symphony.
God damn it. I hate me so much right now. I did once hear a conductor say, yo, I'm hung like a baton. And that shit made me laugh. Because batons are like famously like thin. You know what I'm
and
saying?
small.
Yeah.
Ooh, no.
I mean, he was joking, I guess. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But, I thought it was funny. I laughed.
Okay, the only way it would have been funnier, the only way, is if he was standing in front of a symphony when he did it and was like, I'm hung like a baton, horn section, and then we just got a...
No. Yeah, 100%.
Or strings, and just a sad violin. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so no one's pulling the water ski. Problem number one. Welcome to our 2-day TED Talk on this movie.
Right. This is why Paige and I can't do like a intensive history breakdown on Stalingrad, because it would be as long as the battle itself.
I'd be like, episode 1, mustaches.
How dare they?
How dare they? How dare they? Is it terrible that once we meet Omar in this movie, I was like, he kind of looks like David Harbour. And I was like, no, Paige, no.
If David Harbour was Greek, yeah. If it was David Harbour Manzukis, yes.
Yeah. If you just throw some self-tanner on him and put a hat over his hair, you got it.
They went through a lot of self-tanner in this movie, and I was not happy about it.
No, it's bad. But we get to the opening credits.
Paige, the opening credits are perfect. How dare you say anything negative about them? And the only reason I say that is because
they were to the Mentos theme song.
And that Mentos theme song is actually called Jewel of the Nile.
Yeah.
It is like a Mentos sounding theme song that is the title of the movie in the 80s. It's like peak camp, and I loved it.
It's like fresh goes fresher, jewel of Nile, full of life.
Ba, ba, ba.
That is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
The jewel maker. And you're like, what?
It's just a dude.
He's actually a gemologist, but then there's a different guy that cuts the gems. Anyway, so he gets on the boat from his mysterious water ski, and he literally seems to just like drop the water ski and climb onto the boat.
Yeah, he does.
Real stuff energy. Which, by the way, I forced my dad to watch The Stuff the last time I was at home. We did a double feature of Planet Terror and The Stuff. Highly recommend. And I did notice this time that there is a boat just out of frame that he's stepping on and off of.
Okay, that makes sense.
Anyway, he gets on this boat from his magical jet ski stairs and is like, hey, we're going to Greece. And she's like, I thought you said we'd go back to New York. I have to finish my novel. And he's like, this is your novel. Like, write your novel here. He's like, no, your novel is our trip and everything. I thought you wanted to sail around the world, which, like, I don't.
Same.
I don't.
Yeah.
Not after Poop Cruise. Like, I learned my lesson.
I just got off a Disney cruise that was great, and I don't want to sail around the world.
No.
I would definitely do that again, but like 4 or 5 days at sea is enough for me.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I guess it was only like a week the last time when we did our German river cruise or whatever. But like, it is limiting, you know?
Yes, there are people who love it and good for them. It's just not for me. Yeah.
It's not for me. Anyway, but it's been a blur. And then someone rolls up to their boat to deliver flowers, which I had other questions about because they literally silently pull up onside like the pirates
Yes, they do.
in her book.
Yeah.
But I was like, does her boat have an address? Are they like, it's that boat, sail up to that boat?
I think it's because it's called the Angelina, and I think that has something to do with her book series.
That was in one of her books or something, yes.
I believe so, yes. I don't fully know, but that's my assumption. But that does mean that he is like stalking her and trying to find her and searching the port for her, knowing that she's in this city or whatever.
Yes.
So it's still creepy.
Yes. They get flowers and, she's like, it's probably somebody for the reception today. And he's like, that's next Tuesday. And she's like, it is next Tuesday.
It is next Tuesday.
Today is next Tuesday.
But they clearly are just having the most stressful vacation. Like they just don't seem to really be getting along that great.
No. Well, here's the thing though. Outside of your normal routine, trapped with a person that you had a ton of sex with roughly 4.5 months ago of this 6-month vacation.
Yeah.
And I feel like they are having very different experiences where he seems to be having a great time and
Yes.
she's like, my God, if I don't finish this novel, we're going to foreclose on the boat.
That's actually a very good point because she is not on vacation. She is working from his vacation, not working from home, but like working from his vacation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Loud motorcycle. Anyway, so she's like, it is today. And he's like, oh, well, if I had known it was today, I would have ordered a car. It's like he's not paying attention to her needs or her work or anything at all because he's on vacation.
Yeah. But he does fully just make her ride to her event on the back of a motorcycle.
Side saddle.
Yeah. Because she's in a dress and heels, Paige.
On a motorcycle. I don't even think that that's possible or safe to do.
Well, I mean, they do it.
I mean, I know she does it,
Yeah.
but, you know.
I wouldn't do it. Yeah, like, no. But they do it. Yeah.
This is also why, because people ask me all the time why I don't bring Jake when I travel most of the time.
Because he doesn't like to ride side saddle. I get it.
He hates riding side saddles.
It's the worst. It's the worst. In that dress? Come on.
In that dress? No, but it's it's his vacation and I'm working the whole time.
Yeah. So like same with Natalie for the most part. Like
Yeah.
most places that I go aren't great. So she doesn't go with me to those. If I'm going to a place that like the convention's at a resort that's nice,
Right.
she goes and hangs out by the pool and reads and like enjoys that. But if I'm just going to be in like a Westin in like
Yeah.
Sheboygan, she's not going to that.
Well, and even sometimes if I am in a nice place, it's like we don't get to enjoy it together.
That is true.
He gets to maybe hang by the pool. I have to go be Paige Wesley for however many hours and then come back exhausted.
That's me at those conventions. Yeah.
Anyway, she rides side saddle, but as they drive away, out of the trash comes Danny DeVito with his little like, we don't know it's him yet. It's just like his hand and a little bit of like he peeks out.
Right. I, in my notes, just called him Frank Ralpholds because his name is Ralph in this movie, but he is more or
Right.
less just playing Frank Reynolds from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Which this is way before that. So like, I do think this sort of explains how Frank Reynolds got his money.
Yes.
Just heisting in the 80s and then laying low for a little while, investing well and making some good money.
And then spending it all on sweatshops. Like that's 100%
Yes.
what happened. But at the reception, Michael Douglas immediately gets annoyed because he's not getting attention and goes to gamble in the casino.
It is very blatant that that is what it is. And we're supposed to like him the whole movie, guys.
Here again, those events are not fun if you're not A, attending as like an attendee and excited to meet people, or B, the person they're meeting. And even being the person they're meeting can be a little overwhelming and tiring sometimes. But if you're just standing next to the person they're meeting while people throw questions at you, that's not a good time for that person.
Yeah.
Is it okay to be a selfish bastard about it? No.
Right?
Like,
Exactly.
you knew what this was. She asked you to go. It's one day.
Yes.
You can go back to water skiing as much as you want the next day.
Yeah, I would 100%, like, if Natalie was cast in something big and we had to go to an event, I would happily hold the person, hang out, and just like chat with anybody who wanted to chat with me and just, have a good time. But know that nobody's there for me, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I give Jake permission to not go.
Yeah.
Where I will ask if he wants to go to something ahead of time and be like, this was probably going to be like, if you want to go, great. If you don't. If I really want him there and it means something to me, I'll be like, I know it will suck, but it would really mean a lot for you to go. Or I also am like, if we get there and you hate it, here are the car keys. Like, I will Uber home. Here,
100%.
Here is an escape route for you. I don't care. Just tell me you're leaving so I don't look for you. And then bye.
I really like the giving your loved one an out in those kind of situations because, like, sometimes it is just like a terrible vibe, but you have to be there for work or whatever, Yeah.
Yes. But who should show up at this event? And this is literally like, we're at this event for like 2 minutes. It must have been the thing they did not have as much coverage on because no shit, Omar shows up and she's immediately like, oh yeah, I'm going to go with this guy.
Oh yeah. She like bounces to go talk to Omar, like, ignoring her boyfriend of 6 months or whatever. Like, completely.
Yes.
And then I did like when he comes over and he's like, hey, so like, what's up? Like, who was this person?
Yes.
Why did you just walk away from us to talk to him?
Why are you about to vacation with a stranger?
Yeah, because what happens is Omar like tells the story, his version of the story, right? And it's like, I'm uniting these number of tribes and I'm becoming their king or whatever, and I want you to write the story. I want you to be like the journalist on the story. And she was talking earlier in this movie about like wanting to do some more serious, maybe journalistic type thing. So this is like right up that alley that she was just talking about wanting to do. So this is why she's like into it. She's like, yes, let's do it. It's not a romantic thing with Omar. It is a like,
right.
This is something I actually sort of am interested to get my foot in the door on. So this is a great in, right?
Well, and he talks about Time Magazine wrote about him and it was somewhat unfavorable.
Right.
And so she's like, oh yeah, no, if that's not the truth, like then I'll, whatever. And so, it's just 4 to 5 weeks of research and we'll just go. And Michael Douglas is like, yeah, I'm not letting you just go with a stranger who seems to be, I don't know, cough, cough, warlord. Like, this seems bad.
Yeah, very bad.
Very, very bad. And he does invite Michael Douglas.
He does, yes. But Michael Douglas is like, no, I'm going to Greece.
I'm going to Greece.
I got to get some spanakopita. Like, I'm going to go. I'm going to Greece, babe. You can come with me. You can go with Omar, but it's up to you.
I'm going to get me some Kalitsunya and anything wrapped in phyllo and hit up some roulette tables. Let's go. So he goes off on his Vespa. She gets in the car with him and immediately someone tries to assassinate him. And I need to talk about this.
I'm so glad you're bringing this up.
Oh my God. They clearly did not have coverage of this. They didn't shoot it. This has to be a reshoot because we have the actor who will show up through the rest of the movie as a member of the Sufi group.
Yes.
Who is like a waiter. And we've been watching him and he pulls a knife and goes to stab Omar.
It's really foreshadowed. There's like a moment where like someone walks to the bar and then it holds on the guy behind the guy in the scene, Right. And then it zooms in for like 3 seconds and then he gives you a weird like over the shoulder like ominous glare. And you're like, oh, that guy's coming back for sure.
For sure. And so he stabs and then runs away and discards a wig. Like we do get a shot of a discarded wig.
Yes.
Because they definitely did not have the actor on the day and instead had a giant Samoan linebacker with gorgeous, like voluminous long hair that character did not have. And then that person dives into the water.
With the knife in hand, though. I thought that was awesome. He's like, I'm keeping my knife.
Keeping it.
It's my stabbing knife.
Or he was like, ditch the murder weapon. Oh no, I'm going with it. I forgot to let go. But it's very clearly a completely different person.
Yes.
Like, it is not at all who we saw. at all.
It's the guy they got that could do the stunt they wanted. Yeah.
100%. And then they try to make it look like it was that guy by putting, well, and here's the thing, his costume for the rest of the movie covers most of his head.
Yes.
So like you can't tell if he has long hair or not.
Right.
And I think they were just like, whatever.
They're not going to notice.
They're not going to notice. But it's so obvious that it's a different guy.
I know. I know.
God.
It is very funny, though. I also love that, like, Omar was wearing a mithril vest or whatever because he's just straight up survived that stabbing like it wasn't shit.
Yeah, which I don't know of any vest that, like, I mean, I guess it could glance off, but like, person jumping at you, like, you're gonna get nicked, I think, at least.
Paige, it's called mithril. It exists, right? Like, it's in Lord of the Rings, right? That's a history book.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
So what weight? Do you think it was back weight or mid weight on that knife?
It's definitely back weight. Do you see, like, the one they give Danny DeVito at the end? It's like so many, like, diamonds and, like, jewels in it.
Yeah.
That would be pretty heavy back there. Which I'm not saying you don't want a back-weighted stabbing device. It might help.
It might help. That's what he cashes in to make his sweatshops.
I hate that that's where it goes for him, but I know fully that's where it goes.
And how he finances Lethal Weapon 5.
I'm glad we got it. I'm glad we got it. I'm disgusted as how it was funded, but I'm glad we got it.
Anyway, Michael Douglas Vespa's over to a restaurant, and then they drive past, and it's just like, oh, he goes back to his boat.
Yeah.
But before he can get on the boat, who should climb out of the trash?
Yeah.
Danny DeVito, who is 4'8", like, or something. Like, he is a very small man.
He is a small man, yes.
He is a small man. Michael Douglas, not a small man.
Why'd you say it like that?
It's like somebody fighting Chucky a little bit.
Okay. I mean, it is. Yeah. Okay. I get it.
Because Danny DeVito's like threatening him and like has a knife and whatever. And he's like, because of you, like I ended up in prison and all this stuff. And Michael Douglas is like, oh, okay, but like, how do I get out of this situation? And you're like, kick him in the chest. Like, what are you doing? This is a question.
Honestly, I'm surprised that more people don't employ the kick him in the chest technique. Because, like,
kick him in the chest.
Especially with like a Chucky type adversary.
Right? Find a pit, Sparta that fool. Like, what are we doing?
Or like evil children. We talk about this a lot more on like Horror Virgin, but like evil children, like nobody tries to chest kick evil children, and that drives me insane. That would be my go-to move.
Yeah, and I mean, now granted, you're going to end up kicking through a lot of them because they're probably ghosts.
They're evil.
But they're evil, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, who should pop out of the water throwing knives but the guy who I guess has been underwater this whole time?
Paige, he jumped in the water in the daytime and he came out of the water in the nighttime, and I don't know if that means he can hold his breath for hours or like...
He's a mermaid?
What? It doesn't make any sense to me, but I kind of loved it.
Yeah. Like, the only way it could have been better is that as he came out of the water, he was in that shiny dress like Ariel is at the end of Little Mermaid, and he's just like, now I have legs forever.
Ursula the Sea Witch is just dying in the background.
Yes, just, with the like boats and everything. But he pops out and he's like, hey, Joan Wilder? You know Joan Wilder. Hey, that guy stole our jewel. We have to get him. And I was like, Shankara stones. Like, this is...
Oh, you thought Shankara stones?
Well, no, this is where I was like, so this is where the Temple of Doom of it all starts, of like...
Oh, yeah.
My village had a precious stone, and he stole it, and our children. But no, it turns different later. Not better, just different.
It turns into Douglas of Arabia. Like, it's not great.
No. But he's like, you got to help us find it. He's like, no, I'm going back to my boat. Turns, boat explodes. So where are we going? Perfect, right?
Okay, Paige.
Yes.
But like, if the dude that I watched tried to kill Omar, this guy who like maybe stole my girlfriend, but I don't know is evil, right?
Right.
And then like jumped in the water with his knife, and then hours later popped up out of the water throwing knives in my direction, claiming that I have to go with him to help him with something. And then my boat blows up.
That guy did it.
Exactly. That's my point. I'm definitely not going with that guy anywhere. He just blew up my boat for sure.
Right.
He just came up out of the water.
Right.
Omar left hours ago, stabbed in my mind.
Right.
I don't know that he's not dead.
Right. I pictured them tipping his stabbed corpse back into the car on top of my girlfriend, and then she drove away with it. So like,
yeah.
Anyway, we cut to Joan Wilder getting to Omar's like lair. Like it's a city and like his palace is there, but it's like his stronghold, I guess.
It is. And it's deep in the desert, they say. And they do have to fly there. So like, which they say many times, like the prison she eventually gets put in is not the prison. The desert is the prison. Like you're in the
Right.
prison already just by being in that city, because the only way survivably in and out, as the movie posits it, is by flight, flying in and out.
Right. Or being one of the desert tribes that have learned to, like, over generations survived in the desert. And yeah,
Yes, Paige, what you're describing is
by juggling.
yes, what you're describing is the part that they like stole from Dune, which was already out
The
at this time.
Fremen.
Yes, I mean they even go through the sandstorm in the plane, Page.
Yes.
Which like is how Paul Atreides and his mom get away from the Baron Harkonnen when they attack.
That is
so
true.
like there are some things that are cribbed from many different other things that were popular at this time.
Well, I also, of all of the movies where a plane flies into a sandstorm, and there are many, The Mummy is my favorite. And
Yeah,
like, I know they're the latest to do it, but like,
I think Darude's my favorite.
somebody recut this with the as Omar's like, no.
It's my first time in a plane. Yeah.
It is my first time in airplane. Anyway, they get to his city and he's like, look, they're all so excited to see me. It looks like a protest.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of does. Although I do feel like, and we see the kid that he asked her to take a photo of, that's holding a picture of him.
Mhm.
You actually see like an older, assumably parent, holding up that kid holding it up.
Right.
So like to me, it seemed like these are like, let's just say forced or paid supporters, if that makes sense.
Right. The people who end up on the train later.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was the vibe. Because people here are not like protesting. They do look like they're happy to see him and all that stuff.
Right.
But it turns out to not be that way. So clearly there's like some requirement that they be there under pain of violence or whatever, or they're being paid to or whatever. I don't know.
We see what sounds like a gunshot and everyone freaks out. And
Yes.
so like, it's clearly not great.
It's tense. Yeah, there's a lot of like tense energy.
It's tense. And I feel like this sounds terrible. I felt like maybe they were protesting, but she doesn't speak the language. And so there's no way for her to know if they are or not.
I mean, honestly, that's fair.
Right? Like,
And it does not subtitle it for you. It just says foreign language.
there is
So-
no subtitling in this movie.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. Anyway, they get to his palace and he's like, anything you need. Now, conveniently, they brought her typewriter, which at some point she should be like, hey, wait a second. Because they clearly like boarded and robbed the boat while they were wiring it for explosives and just brought all her stuff and then exploded the boat.
Yeah, they like packed her up and moved her out and then blew up her home.
Yep. And she hears screaming while she's there. And he's like, it's cats. And I was like,
Honestly, Paige, now that I think about it, kidnapping someone, packing up, moving them out, and then exploding their home so they like, it's like burning that person's ships
yes.
into your new relationship. That's a real Massimo vibe.
Ooh, no, Massimo would have just shot his hands.
No, I'm saying that's what Massimo would do to you. Like if Massimo was into you, that's what he would do.
And you know what? He'd wear like a black on black silk shirts, chains, and like, are you lost, baby girl? Because I blew up your boats. Like, all your boats belong to me, baby girl. Anyway, he does also say that he had all the uniforms designed after Return of the King.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
But she is immediately like, oh, like, this is nice, but like, what's with the screaming? And he's like, you could explore your whole new world, take pictures of everything. And she's like, all right, cool. But this is where he like leaves her alone. And there's a picture of him, a giant like portrait of him on the wall
Yeah.
in black and white.
Of course.
And it's the most David Harbour he's ever looked. It's like if they cast David Harbour as M. Bison, like that is the photo of like, yeah, I mean, like when I came to your village, it was the most important day of your life, right? But for me, it was just a Tuesday. Like that is
I love the David Harbour and Bison impression. That's amazing.
it's not good, but it's fun. Anyway, we cut to our other group, Danny DeVito, the guy who tried to kill Omar, who I think introduces himself. I didn't find their names until fun facts, and they are offensive. So I'm going to go with that guy.
The guy who tried, the assassin. Let's call him that.
The assassin.
Yeah.
The assassin and Danny DeVito and Michael Douglas land in the desert, and it's clear that this is a country in political distress.
Yes.
And they're like, where are we going? And then who should ride up on a bunch of camels with boom boxes? Boom boxes.
Yeah, Paige, it's 1985.
It's 1985. And basically just
How
like
dare you bowling for soup me?
camels and boombox, we're all gonna juggle in the tents that we set up out inside the desert wasteland, and we can juggle. Did we mention juggling? We all need you to juggle if you're gonna be part of our club.
They teach Danny DeVito how to juggle, I guess.
They do teach
Yeah.
Danny DeVito how to juggle.
And he becomes a juggalo. That's what they are, right? Juggalos? Is that what they are?
Yeah, whoop whoop. So they all get out to the desert. We then cut back to the palace where she's walking around taking photos, and she takes a photo of some graffiti that some like a child is writing, and then gets chased away and gunfire, and it's not good.
Right.
But they take her photo.
They do. They don't even take her photo.
Yeah.
They like literally rip out all of the film from her camera because they're not going to let her expose that film, right?
Yep.
I do have to say, right before this scene, when Danny DeVito is hanging out with the people that came up with boomboxes, they start playing like out of nowhere. It goes from like just regular sort of African music to like African techno rap kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And listen, I know what you're thinking, Paige, but I'm not describing Diane word there. This is like way before that. It's like way before that.
I know that is technically an accurate description of Diane word, and I hate that.
I think it's technically Zeph is what it is.
Zeph. Well, yeah, because they are South African. But yeah, no. It's literally just the music we were listening to before with a backbeat now. Like,
Yeah, someone added a bass drum, just like a bass drum.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. But they take the film out. And at this point, she's like, oh, I'm a prisoner. It's like, yeah, girl. Yeah, baby girl. Everyone knew but you.
Literally everybody.
Yeah. And so they're like, no, you got to come with us to Kadir. And I love that he's like, tomorrow. I have to assume he means start the journey tomorrow, since we know it takes multiple days and he has this big event. So like,
But why does it take multiple days? They flew there from like, where does this movie start? Greece? They flew there from Greece? Is it further than Greece?
I think they're in Italy originally because they want to go to Greece.
Oh, that's right. They're going to Greece. Sorry. Okay, fair.
But I think that his original plan was to fly her there, magic the wool over her eyes for a few days there while they set up everything. And instead, I think his crew goes ahead to set stuff up. They destroy his helicopter the next day.
That's right. That's right. And of course, the plane they destroy as well and then drive away in.
Yeah. Anyway, she is now searching around the castle
She's like trying to sneak out, Paige.
and take pictures of stuff as she does.
Yes. Yeah. It's very Good versus Evil, the video game.
Right.
But like she is like scaling out and climbing across balconies and there's this spotlight going across.
Yeah.
And the spotlight hits her at her most visible.
Yes.
And then like just keeps moving like it's got a schedule to keep. Like it's like, well, I saw her, but I can't tell anybody. I'm too busy. I got shit to do. Like it's just like she's in a window that is like lit.
Yes.
And so she is blocking the light in a very human shape. Like there's no way you would not have seen that.
Yes. And on top of that, she asked him, like, what's the jewel? Because she, like, read the graffiti and whatever. And he's
Yes.
like, or asked someone to read it for her. And he's like, oh, it's a legend. Ha ha ha. But also, you're still a prisoner. And it's like, girl, what? But we cut back to the desert party, now scored to The Freaks Come Out at Night, which I do love that song. Love that song. It's wild to have it here. And they basically arrive at what can only be described as the dark carnival. Like the juggalos lost their lease on whatever farmland they've been having the carnival on for the last 10 years. And they were like, what's open? The desert. Let's go. Like, because it is, as far as the eye can see, just people juggling different things.
Yep.
Knives, torches, chainsaws, like it's just jugglers. Everyone be juggling. Every day I'm juggling.
Oh, it's like you asked the most offensive people, hey, what do they do in like deep African villages? And they were like, I don't know, what we do at Ren fairs. So like juggle, I guess. It's like really weird, but that's what they're doing.
That's what they're doing. And the tents are circus tents, Todd.
I know. Paige, I know. It's bad. Like, it does not age well at all.
They have like circus iconography painted on them.
I know. You're like, I mean, of course there'd be an elephant on the side of their tent, Paige. They're in Africa. That's where elephants are from.
Right.
No, that is not a thing. Like,
No.
stop it. Stop saying that.
Stop. And there's one that a lady passes that I clocked past the elephant that just has like a 5 and like some filigree on it, like a price. And I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Where did we borrow these tents from? Like, what is happening?
Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey Circus.
Oh my Lord. But this is where I have in my notes. Notes. This is where I have in my notes. Temple of Doom, hold my beer.
Yeah.
Like, just like, this is where it's so crazy. But then we cut back to Omar's castle where she's taking pictures as an entire special effects crew has arrived.
Yes. Yeah.
A guy who does rock concerts who's going to make it look like miracles. Fucking magnets. How do they work?
Which is nothing in here looks like a miracle, or nothing at the end when they're doing the performance of this looks like a miracle.
Yeah.
It looks like you're about to play Freebird.
Yeah, well, it looks like Miracles, the Juggalo version.
Yeah, it does.
Like, how did God even think up dirt? And a seagull stole my cell phone. Anyway, she takes pictures of it and then climbs down and breaks into their computer room where it's just a map of Kadir with arrows pointing at it. And she's like, I know your plans. I was like, to point? Is that what plans did you think you saw?
Also, I don't know if you remember from the last scene they were in together when he was like, I'm taking you to Kadir.
Right.
That map with the arrow didn't tell her any new information.
No, and it just says in plain English, Kadir.
I know.
No borders, no cities, no nothing. And she's just like, oh, how dare he? And I was like, MapQuest? What?
You mean, how dare he plan for I realize you're kidnapped and I get that that's scary, but he told you an hour ago we were going to Kadir.
Right.
This is just him like mapping it out.
Yeah. And like she's like taking pictures of it and they can see her flash from the outside. But she hears a man screaming, looks out, and it's Omar who is in the fountain because he has burnt his hand while trying to do a fire trick. And this is just like exposition shouting of like, people have to believe it. People have to believe it's a miracle or they will never rally behind me and I will never be able to unite the church.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, really?
Yeah. I mean, like, so Omar's big plan is to like use religion to convince people to go to war for him because, like, that's literally how it works 1,000% of the time.
Look.
And like, he acts like he like cracked Da Vinci's code on that, but he's just like picked up any history book ever.
Here's my favorite thing. He burned his hand. Do you think he was trying to rip somebody's heart out? Do you think he was like, it worked for Kali Ma?
He was like, I shouted Kali Ma 3 times. Why didn't it work?
Because you need a shirtless, sweaty Harrison Ford just like staring into the middle distance. Malaram Sudaram. Anyway, so we realize that he's going to magic trick people. And so she tries to escape, climbs up to what she thinks is the roof, but it is actually the prison cell of the Jewel. And we do see them like break in and like, show us how your powers work, Jewel. And he's like, I was bit by a radioactive camel. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
And now I have the power of spitting 40 feet. But they leave. She falls in through the roof. They immediately come back.
Yeah.
And she's like, I know what you're up to. And you're like, do you? Because we don't. Like, what we have surmised is he's going to pretend to be a holy man. And I guess maybe this is the holy man. And that's what he's going to, like, that's all I got. And Kadir.
Right.
That's it. And she's like, I know the whole plan. And he's like, what? She's like, I'm going to tell the truth. And we're like, could you? It'd be nice if we knew it. And he's like, no, why do you think I hired you? You're not a journalist. You write fantasy.
Right.
So, like, make it good, bitch. Like, what?
Yeah, like...
And he tells her Jack is dead.
Right, because he doesn't... I don't think he thinks Jack is coming back or anything. Like, they definitely, like, kind of are on a break until they get back together here. And I don't think Jack was going to go here until the merman came out of the sea and convinced him to come on this trip.
I think he thinks that he killed Jack when he exploded that boat.
Yeah, exactly. I think he does.
Yeah.
I think he has no idea what's about to happen.
No clue. And she's like, no. But so now she's in prison with the jewel.
Yeah.
Cut to our friends outside at the Juggle convention. And they're like, hey, you were invited to the palace to Michael Douglas, not realizing that attempted murder.
Right.
But they're like, you were invited to the palace. You can go in. We can't, because they know that we are devotees of the actual jewel and not Omar. And so we can't go in. So you've got to go.
Can I point out really quick just how terribly stupid this plan is?
Yeah.
Because Omar tried to kill Michael Douglas after he extended the invitation.
Right.
I think it's fair to say that if Michael Douglas just shows up at the compound, they're probably just going to kill Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
They tried to kill Michael Douglas already and failed.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they thought they succeeded. So they're definitely just going to kill that guy.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a terrible plan.
Meanwhile, the jewel is like, I'm the jewel. And she's like, you're the jewel. I'm the jewel. You're the jewel? Who's on first? And she's like, okay, so we got to foil his plan. And she's like, we got to get you to Kadir because you're like the guy. And he's like,
Yeah.
You are the one. Pinky promised that we both get to Kadir. And she's like, okay.
If you think about this movie like the jewel is Muad'Dib, the rest of it kind of makes sense.
Which one's Muad'Dib? Is that the Worm Empire?
Paul Atreides.
Okay.
It's Dune.
I still haven't seen the second one.
Well, then this is, okay, so the second one is like where a lot of the stuff that happens in this movie happens. Because it's like this guy is trying to take the throne or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And Paul Atreides comes in and like kills that guy and then takes over. It's great. Spoiler alert for a book that came out in the 80s, I think.
Well, yeah, but then doesn't Paul's kid eat part of a worm and become a worm god emperor?
First off, his name is James McAvoy. You put some respect on his mouth.
Aw.
But yeah, like, yes, that does happen because he finds the golden path. But Paige, we can't get into it.
Okay.
We cannot get into it because there's actual story there.
Yeah. Okay, cut to the desert. So Michael Douglas and Danny DeVito show up at the palace and are like, hey, it's us. And when they were like, no, because you're supposed to be dead.
Right.
Then he's like, allow me to introduce my associate, Danny DeVito. In the most Always Sunny of ways. This happens on
Yes.
Always Sunny all
Yes.
the time.
I love this.
Where they're just like, this is an art critic, Oingo Goblogian. Like this is my associate lawyer or whatever.
It's an improv trick.
Yes.
It is very much just like an improv trick or whatever. And you do it to like kind of play with people, like mess with people you're on stage with.
Yes.
And like you'll give them a name and give them a little bit of a backstory that they are then locked into, whether they know how to. That would be like you doing to me on stage. This is my friend Jacob Scheinman, my German art dealer.
Yeah.
And then I would have to pretend to do a terrible German accent that you know I can't do.
Love it.
But like, it's funny because the audience is in on the joke that like, oh, you just dicked me over right there.
Right.
So it's funny. But anyway, that's why it works and It's Always Sunny. And that's why it works here too. It's very funny.
And he immediately yes-ands and is like, yeah, we don't want a situation
Right.
to happen because Mike, the situation Sorrentino might not have been born yet.
I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. Yeah.
Let's find out.
It came out in 1985.
1982.
Oh, damn.
He was already among us. They had not named him the situation yet because each situation names the next situation.
I didn't realize that that's how it worked for situations.
Yes. Anyway, while they're trying to get in, Joan Wilder or at this point, just Joan and the Jewel are now trying to escape. This is where he does the dry rot and pulls the window out. They climb out and they're climbing along the walls. So now, like, they tell Michael Douglas, Joan doesn't want to see you. You got to fucking leave. And they're like, all right, well, you guys have guns. Bye. And as they leave, see Joan and the Jewel climbing out. Super convenient.
Like, literally, she's hanging from the building.
Yes.
Yeah.
They make a run for it to a different part of the city. Danny DeVito gets separated and gets caught in the crossfire as the riders from the desert like come in, Eagles of Thunder,
Accurate.
to the palace.
Yes.
And then now there is a conflict afoot with the palace guards and Omar and the Sufi group from the desert.
Right.
While our group is trying to like hide and run away, and this is when they get into the fighter jet. It is a fighter jet. This isn't like a Cessna, like a terrorist, like warlord would have to go from place to place.
No.
This is a fighter jet.
Right.
And so, like, he couldn't even fly other people. Like, there's no reason for him to have this plane.
They never take off in it. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason for the plane to be in the movie. Like, they could have just found a minigun that they walked around with and it would have served the same purpose because they're just sitting in a plane as it drives around.
Okay, so I have a controversial take. Hear me out.
Okay.
There is a scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark. I know because I watched it just a couple days ago. Holds up.
With the plane, yes, the fight
With the plane.
scene. It is iconic. It's amazing in that movie. This is not cool
Okay,
at all.
here's the thing. It's an older plane because Indiana Jones is in the 1940s.
Right.
Where like that guy walks through the propellers
Yeah.
and the blood. It's great, right? I think they were like, let's do the same here. But because it's modern day, they had to use a modern plane.
I think so. I mean,
And modern planes don't have propellers. They're just like sharp triangles.
yeah, they have jet engines. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did a little bit of research trying to find out what it is. I don't think it's a real aircraft. It looks like they made like a mock-up of an
yeah.
F-16 Fighting Falcon, which is what that plane is. And I took about an hour trying to find that last night, and I could have just texted my brother Brandon because he would have known. I could have just like screenshotted it and sent it to him, and he would have been like, oh, that's an F-16 Falcon for sure.
Here's the crazy part. You can tell it's made out of plywood.
Paige, they destroy this thing. I'm glad they didn't buy a real one. That would have been millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars. But like, it's yada, yada, yada. Plane drives through town shooting at things.
Yes. And then escapes through the sandstorm, Darude style.
With it, they blow out the gates, escape through the sandstorm, and then drive the plane away, right?
Yes.
But in driving through town or whatever, they break the wings off,
Yeah.
and there's nothing inside them. They're hollow.
Paige, I know. It's a prop.
No, I know, but I'm like, it's so obvious in the movie.
But Paige, can I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
Does this not work? Because he definitely would be the kind of like wannabe dictator at this point because he's not like full on the king yet, right?
Right,
so
right,
like
right.
he would want to like show strength and like look like he has all of these things, and like some of them may fully not work, you know?
Honestly,
So like when I thought about that, I was like, shit, that actually kind of works, even though it's clearly not a real jet, you know? Like,
if they had written it off that way
Yeah.
in the movie, in the world of the movie, that would have been fucking hilarious. And yes, that would have been incredible. Like the fake buildings in North Korea.
yes,
Like,
yeah,
yes.
exactly.
150%. What I really would have loved, and I'm sure in a Tropic Thunder version of this movie, we would have gotten it, and it would have been like an MTV Cribs style breakdown of all of his fun toys.
Yeah.
And he would have been played by Sacha Baron Cohen. But in this movie, no, in the world of the movie, it's a real plane. And they destroy his helicopter in the process.
They do. They blow up his helicopter on the way out. Yeah.
But yes, they get through the sandstorm.
And they also do run a small car off the road, just like real a-hole energy on this like desert drive with the F-16.
Yes. Now, they end up going through a sandstorm while Danny DeVito escaped on a camel. Now, the other riders have threatened Danny DeVito because they're like, you stole the jewel, you lied to us. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but now they're after him for reasons that are unclear and not well defined in the script. But now everyone has kind of passed through the sandstorm. Do-do-do-do-do.
Because fear is the mind killer, right?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
whatever. This is the part that's like cribbed from Dune for sure.
Yes. But at this point in my notes, I just have 30 minutes of this movie is skippable. Like,
Oh, yeah.
remember in Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark, where there's like a bunch of guys that want to fight Indiana Jones, and then that one big guy, and he just shoots him,
Yes.
and
yeah.
that's it? That's what I need from this plane thing, is them like, oh my God, plane, and them like shooting through the gates, cut to them driving it just outside the city, and they're driving behind them.
Yeah.
I don't need 20 minutes of them driving through the entire town. Like,
Yeah. We get a play-by-play of it. Yeah.
oh my God, it's awful.
Agreed.
Anyway, now everybody's in the desert. Omar's just a little behind them. Danny DeVito stumbles upon our jugglers, who now are like, join us or die, basically.
Yeah.
And then our air quotes hero, we've got the Jewel, Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner. They're a little ahead of Omar.
Yeah.
But I do love that they're arguing, and the Jewel is like, ooh, debate. I'll moderate. you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, now you go. And I was like, this is taking a long time, but this is a very funny bit to be like, actually, it's Kathleen Turner's time.
Yeah, I love that he like cut Michael Douglas off and was like, no, it's just Jones' turn. It's just Jones' turn.
It's just Jones' turn.
I love that.
And then at the end, he's like, I feel like you have both hurt each other and it's a zero sum. We got to move on. But originally, Michael Douglas is going to leave her with the jewel because he's like, what do you mean? And she's like, I got to get him to Kadir. I got to help. But literally, no sooner does Michael Douglas leave that he realizes Omar is after them. And he's like, I'm going with you guys. I can't run back that way. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
And this is where they outrun tanks in the desert on foot. Couldn't be me. And Omar kind of corners them and he's like, hey, Joan, no, hey.
Hey, Joan. It's like from Hot Rod, Will Arnett from Hot Rod. The thing that he does that's so dumb is he takes a bazooka or whatever and shoots the rock they're hiding in, or tries to, but misses, and then shoots a lot of the rock out of the cliff they're on, and it falls down and takes out his vehicle.
Yeah.
Because he's an idiot.
He's dumb. And then they laugh at him, and I do like that.
Yes, it's hilarious.
Well, and I also love the jewel being like, it's not my destiny to die on this mountain. And they're like, what about us? And he's like,
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know. We'll see.
Don't know. But they climb up to the top of the mountain where they encounter a tribe that they simply describe as the Nubians, which I guess would suggest that they are potentially in Ethiopia. The movie did not do any research and is not any more clear than this.
Nope.
It is just what I would say, a stereotyped African tribe the way you would see in movies made by white people.
Yes.
You get it.
Yeah.
And it is essentially just there. And I do love that initially, like, it seems very threatening. And they're like, what did he say? And he's like, he said it's like 3 days journey over the mountains and it's going to be rough, but he wishes us a good journey. And I was like, if they had left it at that, that actually is a pretty well-crafted joke.
I thought it would have been funny, yeah.
But no, they immediately go into like, his son wants to court her and now you have to fight him. And I was just like, oh.
I did think it was funny that they had to like build it up, and he thinks he's gonna fight, I think maybe the younger brother. Like it's like a
child.
The kid's like maybe 15, like not a child, but like young and smaller than Michael Douglas.
Yes.
And then they're like, no, you're not fighting him, you're fighting him. And it's like this 6'3" guy, and Michael Douglas is like 5'10" or whatever.
Right.
And so like, there's no way he's gonna beat this guy. But the jewel, he's a smart one.
Yeah, he kind of creates a diversion so that Michael Douglas can get the guy over the head with a jug and knock him out.
Yes.
But picture M'Baku from Black Panther. Like that is what it is, right? So he takes that guy out, and now they're like, well, now you guys have to celebrate. We all dance. And the dancing happens, and then Michael Douglas gets up and dances with Kathleen Turner, and then they make out. And then literally all the dancers pair off and all of them like pick up a lady and carry her away.
Yeah.
I hope that it's a lady that is with them consensually and consensually being carried. It does seem that way.
I mean, that is the ritual of the dance. Like it is positioned that like that is their culture's like marriage ceremony for the year or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
And you dance for your beau, I guess, and then they pick you up and you go, and then you're married forever.
Sounds great.
But this is the moment where like Michael Douglas like decides I need to marry Kathleen Turner because she's doing what can only be described as something as offensive as the anteater ritual from Can't Buy Me Love. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like that.
It is exactly that yes, it is that bad. Yes.
But he's like, man, I love her so much. It's funny.
You're like, ooh.
It is bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we then go to a boring sex scene.
Was it a sex scene?
We don't see them. We see them getting started.
Yeah, we see her roll over onto him and give him a kiss. Like, it's not really a sex scene.
They are naked. You can't see it, but like, it's the movie sheet thing of like.
Yeah, it's very implied nudity. They both had like full ass pants and shoes on. Like, Paige, you have no idea. That's my point. Like, it's shot just so they're both topless, I guess. But you can't see anything because she rolls over and she's just like stuck to him.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I don't care. But like, that's what it is. It's not a sex scene at all.
Yeah.
0 on the roar scale for sure.
0 on the roar scale. And they don't have anything resembling a conversation that would resolve any of their relational conflicts in the film.
Right. There's no story along those lines.
No, but it's portrayed as the next day of him being like, now I'm relaxed. Like they were banging all night. And he's like, that's what I needed for our months on the boat. Where are we up to? We're hiking to Kadir still? All right, cool.
Okay, I guess if that's where you're going, that's where I'm going. And she literally says in that night scene, like, thanks for coming to Kadir with me.
Yeah, it's like, and then she eventually tells him, like, that guy's the jewel. He's a holy man. There's no actual jewel. And he's like, why didn't you tell me?
That's not quite how that conversation goes a little bit. Because he is like, Michael Douglas is, of course, like a little hurt when he realizes there's been like a misunderstanding.
Sure.
When Joan, like every time she talked about like her religious friend. But like, you can tell he still doesn't really get it. Like there was one second where I thought he was going to be like, wait, did you mean like Ashkenazi? Like I like wasn't sure why he was so confused every time she was like, he's the jewel.
Right.
My religious friend, the jewel.
The jewel.
Like it's like a religious title. Why don't you get it? Like, bro, it's easy to understand.
Yeah, it's bonkers. But this brings back, because she like doesn't tell him originally, and the jewel's like, why didn't you tell him? And she was like, he wouldn't have come. And he's like, he may surprise you, like this rock that I turned into a butterfly because I have real powers, or I'm just David Blaine.
Yeah, I do love that. Like everything he does is like possible, like sleight of hand magic, or he actually is like a deity on some level.
Right.
And of course he's like lovable and childlike and awesome. I love this character. He's the best.
So good. But in this, she's like, I didn't tell you because you wouldn't have come. And he's like, well, I might surprise you.
Yeah.
And he did. He's still there, basically.
Yeah.
But they managed to get to the train to Kadir. So there's this like train station in the middle of nowhere. They get there and they have to hide because all of Omar's people are also now having to take the train because they blew up his helicopter.
Right. I did love that, like, during the whole action sequence of the train, which I don't think we need to go through scene by scene.
Nope. I just have train fight in my notes because I'm like, you've seen a train fight. You've seen Indiana Jones on the Last Crusade. They did it the best. Don't worry about this one.
And it's way better than that. So just like picture that one. But when they get in that last car, Omar's there because, of course, they have to take the train too. They lost their helicopter.
Yes. And there's no vats of snakes.
Right.
But as the train fight is happening, our juggler friends from the desert roll up on side. Now, we did kind of skip over it, but at one point they made Danny DeVito walk on the coals, and now he's one of them.
Yes. Well, and they kind of like, I kind of like the way they talk to him and like talk him out over the coals before he realizes it. And then he's doing it before he realizes he's doing it. And they're like, look down. And he's like, oh my God, I'm doing it. Okay. And then he does quickly get off because it's probably burning the hell out of his feet.
Y'all smell cooking feet? Like, now, if he had run just across a whole lane of George Foreman grills, like that would... Anyway, we get to Kadir, where he ties Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner up over like a well,
right?
Where if they fall, they die. And on Michael Douglas's side, he puts goat blood and rats to chew through his ropes. And then on her side, he's got like an ampule of acid to slowly drip over her rope. And I'm like, what? What is this torture basement? Like, what is happening?
But it's based on her best-selling book, not her most recent.
Her best-selling book.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Savage Secret.
Right. So like he really, I think his plan was to kill his ex-wife's favorite author in the most like Bond villain-esque way. And that is this way. To do it the way in her best-selling book, they're put into like peril or whatever.
Now, at this point in the movie, we have 30 minutes left.
Right.
And I was like, what could we possibly have 30 minutes of? Spoiler, nothing. They vamp for 30 minutes because he goes out, like they do the whole show. It is literally the set of Springtime for Hitler.
It looks like it. Yeah. I mean, even the like eagle light that they have behind him looks like it. Yeah.
It looks like an iron eagle. Like it fully looks like a Nazi bird. It's like, and he's just up there preaching like Hitler. No subtitles.
Right, exactly. We have no idea what he's saying. So it's like, why are we spending so much time and not learning any new information?
Yeah, and I think they thought this would be their Kalima. They thought this would be their like, you know, because the fire and everything. And it's not. It just looks like a boring Nazi rally. And it's just like,
it does.
And they keep cutting back and forth to it. Meanwhile, we go back to the torture basement. And Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner are confessing their love for each other. but we haven't learned anything new. They haven't changed it all, and they're not saying anything new other than like, we're gonna die, but if we don't, do you want to get married? Like, it's...
Oh, Paige, there's a point in this movie where like the acid is burning her rope and it like burns one of the like, it frays a little bit more and she drops a little bit. And like, if she had died in that moment, the last thing she would have heard is Michael Douglas say, I'm not even wearing any underwear. Like, they're not having a serious conversation while their life is in danger here. And it's so silly to me.
I do love that line though, because she's like, do you remember the savage secret? And he's like,
remind me.
No, remind me, help me out. Like, what is it? And he's like, how does it? And he's like, well, Jesse had a knife in his boot. Do you happen to have a knife in your boot? And he's like, I'm not even wearing underwear.
Right.
And I do love that line. I do think that's hilarious.
It was funny, but like, yeah.
But this is not solving any of the emotional issues of the film.
At all.
At all. Meanwhile, cutting back and forth, Springtime for Hitler again. Danny DeVito gets there along with all of the jugglers.
And all the jugglers like start attacking. And Danny DeVito's like, oh, I got to find Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner.
I got to find my friends. They can cut me in on this jewel on account of them crows. And so like he gets there. And they're like, hey, just put the ladder across the well because then we'll fall on it and we can like,
oh my God.
save whatever.
Yeah. But he's all hopped up on fight milk. So he's just like raging in the corner about how he's going to get 90 and they're going to get 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he like...
So he can fight like a crow.
But Paige, this scene must have been shot by like the Milton Bradley Company because he falls in like a mouse-trappian way. And while he falls and gets like lifted up by the rope that his leg gets tangled in, he knocks the ladder over and it falls down to save their life right in the nick of time. And I was like, oh, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. I loved it.
It was very funny. I was like, cheap, but funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, they land. Great. They're not going to die. The jewel, who is also part of our jugglers in the desert, is like, hey, you know better than to try and like, barter with these people. It's like, that's not the Sufi way. Also, I'm the jewel. Like,
right. That's me. I am the jewel. And he is also like chained up where they are. He's just not, his life isn't in peril because they don't want to kill him.
Right.
But he has his part to play in their like revolution or whatever.
Right.
But he's there.
He's there.
Yeah.
And Danny DeVito, now that everyone's like not dying, everyone unties everybody. We're all escaping.
Yeah.
They get up into like the sound booth. We don't know how they got up there. Footage is lost. They just appear there.
Yeah.
They go up to the sound booth, and apparently the giant Nazi eagle is controlled by a joystick.
It's on a crane, and it's like she's controlling the crane of it part. Yeah.
Yes. And we cut back and forth to her craning it around 3 different times.
Yeah. Just really shaking him up until it like hits one of the side scaffolding things and he climbs onto that and then gets down or whatever.
Well, but it also starts a massive fire on stage.
It does. It does.
And the jewel walks out in the fire and everyone's like, oh shit, the jewel.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is the I'm not your Duke, I'm the Muad'Dib moment from like Dune 2, if you remember that.
I don't.
It's that moment.
You know what? Love Killer Mike. Excited for them to run the jewels. Crashes, the jewels come out. The jewels come out at night. Everyone's excited about it. And then everyone is just kind of running around. Because at this point, I'm like, who are you trying to even escape from now?
Right.
You have the upper hand, right?
Yeah.
But there's still guards chasing them around. And as they're running, like Michael Douglas, like while he's fighting them off, falls down. Kathleen Turner runs up and over the stage on the scaffolding where she runs into Omar, who's just like, people think I'm dead now, and that's fine, but I'm going to take you with me.
Yeah.
And then Michael Douglas on a crane piloted by Danny DeVito.
Yeah, because Danny DeVito now has the crane controls, and he's like, I promise I won't kill you.
Right.
I did love their like devil's bargain right there when he's like, jump on the hook, and he looks at him like, don't kill me.
Yes, yes.
It was very funny.
Well, and then he cranes him up there. He kicks Omar off.
Yes.
So Omar is definitely dead.
Oh, yeah.
They kiss. We cut down into where like everyone is still kind of, it's chaos down below. And there's just circles of people like menacingly juggling at each other.
Yeah.
And it's bonkers where it's like, oh, you think you're a real tough guy, huh? You think you're real tough. You want a piece of this? You want me to juggle a piece of this?
Paige, it's like we're watching the cast of West Side Story do their musical version of this battle.
Yes.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
100% that. Yes.
Yes. But at that point, he's like, you got your story? I've got more than that. We cut to their wedding. Everyone's invited. This wedding does look like a good time.
Of course.
But the jugglers give Danny DeVito a knife, and he's like, hell yeah. And that's the movie.
Now, the reason he was excited about the knife was because it had a bunch of jewels in it, and that's how he funds, the startup stuff that he did to make Frank Reynolds rich. Anyway, Paige.
100%.
Having seen this movie and we talked about this movie, what did you think about Jewel of the Nile?
Oof, this is just watch Temple of Doom instead. And here's the thing. Do I know that Temple of Doom is bad and it's definitely not, it's in the middle of the Indiana Jones movies on a spectrum of worst, because I still think Crystal Skull is the worst. It's like Crystal Skull, from the bottom up, Crystal Skull, Dial of Destiny, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade Raiders, I think.
I think they only get better the closer to current release date. You know what I'm saying? The new one's no, it's definitely not like that.
Offensive.
No, I agree. I did like Dial of Destiny. I'm sorry. I did like it.
It's better than Crystal Skull.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll give it that. It's better than one of them. But Temple of Doom is so hilariously bad, it comes back around to being fun.
Yeah.
And it's a prequel, which is also a fun, like, weird piece of the lore.
Yeah.
Watch that instead of this, I think. It's equally as offensive, but the story is better.
Yes, it is also offensive. And so is this movie. This movie is also real offensive. I am kind of glad I watched it because I guess I did want to, finish the series of these movies. But, I am okay that they didn't make any more, if that makes sense.
I feel like if you wanted to reboot something.
Ooh, I would love a reboot of this. That would be fun. I'd kind of like The Lost City or whatever with Sandra Bullock and...
I think that's almost what they were trying to do. But I would actually love a true reboot where it is like a modern day smut girly going on an adventure.
I mean, yeah, that would be awesome.
I think modern cultural sensitivity makes movies like this difficult because you can't just make stuff up about people in different places on Earth.
but in the 80s, you definitely could. They definitely did in this movie.
That is for the best. We should not be doing that, but that is a cornerstone of movies like this. So
yeah. I it is a crazy movie. Do I think people should watch it? Not necessarily, unless you want to just finish the series. Romancing the Stone is way better than this. But Paige,
yes.
Do you have any fun facts for us?
I do.
Well, hit us with your fun facts.
Jugglers, fun facts. The actors playing the tribesmen, and these are their actual names in the script, Arak, Barak, Karak, Sarak, and Tarak, were members of the juggling troupe, the Flying Karamazov brothers.
I mean, they do some impressive stuff in this movie. I just wish it wasn't the only thing that those people did.
I also wish that they didn't give them crazy rhyming names like they were the Seven Dwarfs. It's
not great.
Bonkers and offensive in a wild way.
Yeah.
3 members of the production team were killed in a plane crash while scouting locations in Morocco. So when you said Marrakesh, you were closer than you thought.
Oh, no joke. Okay, cool.
Yeah. The film is dedicated to them, along with Romancing the Stone screenwriter Diane Thomas, who died in a car accident. If you don't remember, the predecessor of this film, Romancing the Stone, was her only produced screenplay. She'd been working as a waitress in Malibu when Michael Douglas optioned her script for $250,000, allowing her to quit her job, because this is $1984, so that's closer to $600,000 at this point.
I can figure that out really easily. That's $832,800 today.
Get that bag. So she quit her job. Sadly, she died in a car accident while writing a new project with Steven Spielberg the following year.
Oh, man.
About 7 weeks before the opening of this film. So her previous film opened, it did great. She was working on her next one, because this is literally a year after the first one.
Yeah.
But she was a passenger while her boyfriend was driving a Porsche that Michael Douglas had bought them as a thank you gift.
Oh.
Because the first movie had done so well. And so this film is dedicated in memory of Diane Thomas.
Oh, that's sweet, but so sad.
Kathleen Turner was almost not in this movie because she had money squabbles over the original. I don't know if you remember where she was wildly underpaid for the original and had to fight to get more money.
Doesn't surprise me.
She also did not like the script She had negotiated final approval of the script. She only signed after Fox tried to sue her for $25 million.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
The end title song is Billy Ocean's When the Going Gets Tough, the Tough Get Going. And in the music video for the song, Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner, and Danny DeVito lip sync and dance as doo-wop backup singers. And because they were not members of the musicians union, the video was banned in the UK.
What? Oh, that's so funny.
Even though the video was banned, the song would still be Billy Ocean's first #1 UK hit.
Oh, good job, Billy. Get across that ocean.
Because of the lawsuit and because Kathleen Turner still hated the script, she and Michael Douglas fought the whole time on set for the most part, but that did not stop them from making a third movie together
What?
along with Danny DeVito, The
What?
War of the Roses in 1989, which we have not done but maybe should do.
It's not a trilogy, is it? It's like a whole different movie. Okay.
Whole different movie.
Okay.
Whole different movie.
I mean, I would do that for sure. I love all those people.
Yes. So the tribesman that Jack wrestles is a traditional Senegalese wrestler, and the talisman that he wears on his chest and around his waist were made by a religious leader and are believed to hold mystical powers to protect him and help him win his wrestling matches.
Fair enough. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
The plane is a full-scale mock-up powered by a 350 CI Chevrolet engine.
Okay. Yeah.
If you look, you can see the drive shafts running from the belly of the plane to the wheels on the landing gear. So essentially, they just like built a plywood plane around a Chevy.
Yeah.
And then ran it into stuff.
That's so funny.
So plans to make an ongoing franchise were considered for years after this film was made, despite the lawsuit, despite the fighting. In fact, another sequel was proposed in 2005.
Wow. Okay.
With the title The Crimson Eagle.
I mean, that's 25, that's 30 years after, right? 20 years after.
20 years after.
Yeah.
And in 2008, again, I think a rewrite of that script retitled Racing the Monsoon. And the plots revolved around Joan, Jack, and their teenage children going on another, I'm glad we didn't get this. This sounds terrible. Going on another globe-trotting treasure hunt together. In 2007, plans to remake the first film, rebooting the franchise entirely, were considered, with Katherine Heigl to play Joan and Jack being either Taylor Kitsch or Gerard Butler. I can't tell you how little I want to see that. No, thank you.
We've got plenty of Gerard Butler and her together. We're good on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. In 2011, the remake was retooled as a television series, but thankfully never put into production. All of these sound like terrible studio note ideas, and I hate them. Advance posters just used cuts of Danny DeVito from the first movie in his same outfits until they were able to shoot promo footage of him in turbans. Not great.
Not great.
The jewel in the title is real, as in, like, there have been holy men or holy people where that has been their title. But the title itself was first applied by 19th century travelers to the Temple of Isis in Philae in Egypt, built around 400 BCE.
Okay.
As opposed to a person. Danny DeVito at one point says Weinberger is going to be upset by the way he's being treated by Omar's guards. He's referring to Caspar Weinberger, the U.S. Secretary of Defense under President Ronald Reagan, president at the time.
Yeah.
Robert Zemeckis directed Romancing the Stone, the first one, but was unavailable for this because he was working on his passion project, Back to the Future. And aren't we grateful for that?
Yeah.
So Danny DeVito had wanted to direct the film. Now, Danny DeVito has directed a handful of films, and they're not bad, but at the time had only directed one TV film, and 20th Century Fox wanted a more experienced director.
Yeah.
So Louis Teague was hired. DeVito eventually made his directorial debut with Throw Mama from the Train in 1987,
Yeah.
and has gone on to produce and direct a number of things since then.
Oh, yeah.
The F-16 fighter mock-up had the aerodynamic contours of a real plane, and they had matched them so well that its nose would start to lift off the ground if they drove it too fast. Which is why they drive it so slow.
I know. They are driving it very slow. Yeah.
According to tabloids, at the time of production, there was a dysentery outbreak on set.
Oh, okay.
A number of our kind of tribesmen actors are dubbed by British voice actors.
Yeah.
And there are also uncredited rewrites of the script. It did not help.
I'm pretty sure the Jewel is also dubbed the entire movie.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I think that's the main one. Oh, no. The guy who played Omar is dubbed.
Oh, is he?
Yes, Omar is dubbed.
Wild. Okay.
Wild. But a bunch of people are dubbed
Yeah.
in this movie. And it's kind of obvious, too. You can kind of see it. So after the success of Indiana Jones, they made a ton of movies like this. So Raiders of the Lost Ark, Sky Pirates, Jake Speed, King Solomon's Mines, which we have, I think might actually fit. I'd have to look at it. But Alan Quatermain, The Lost City of Gold, River of Death, High Road to China, Romancing the Stone, Jewel of the Nile, Nate and Hayes, Motherlode, Treasure of Four Crowns, The Hunters of the Golden Cobra, Temple of Doom, and then Last Crusade finally in 1989. All of those were produced between 1981, Raiders, and 1989, Last Crusade.
That's crazy. That's a lot of like these kind of movies. Yeah.
That's a lot. Most fans of the original were disappointed that there was no actual jewel in the movie, and some even tried to sue 20th Century Fox for false advertising.
Oh, that's kind of funny. Yeah. Okay.
The matter was settled out of court. And those are your fun facts.
Well, thank you for those fun facts, Paige. Let's talk a little bit about box office. So what do you think the production budget was for Jewel of the Nile in 1985?
Ooh, I bet this actually got a pretty big budget because the first one did so well, but they also put it into production so fast that that may have impacted their budget too. I'm going to say that in 1985, this cost $30 million, which at the time was a lot of money.
The reason I said interesting when you said the figure they sued Kathleen Turner for is because that is the exact amount for the budget, $25 million.
Yeah, damn.
Which, if you adjust for inflation, is almost $75 million today. It's $74.6 million. Now, this movie came out December 13th, 1985. It was number 2 the weekend it came out. It was beat by Paige, Rocky 4.
Yes, I must break you.
Yeah, and then number 2 was, of course, Jewel of the Nile. 3 was Spies Like Us. Number 4 was White Knights. Number 5 was Santa Claus. Number 6 was Clue. A lot of great movies at the time. Back to the Future was number 10. It had been out for 24 weeks, but it was still number 10. But, Paige, what do you think Jewel of the Nile made in its opening weekend when it was number 2 in the theaters?
I bet this actually made a lot of money until people found out it was bad. So I'm going to say number 2, 1985. It probably made about $12 million.
Yeah, Paige, it actually only brought in $6.6 million that weekend.
Damn, that's terrible.
Yeah, and Rocky 4 brought in $7.2 million that weekend. Interestingly enough, this movie, Jewel of the Nile, was number 2 in the theaters for its first 3 weeks.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And it actually made more money in its third weekend than it did in its first. In fact, its third weekend out was its highest grossing weekend, which is pretty interesting to me. But after that third weekend, it dropped to third and was there for 2 weeks, so through its 5th week. And then it dropped to 4th, and then 5th its 7th week is when it was 5th, and then it dropped to 9th. It was 9th in the theaters for 2 weeks, which would be its 9th week, and then eventually fell out of the theaters after 13 weeks. But Paige, how much money do you think Jewel of the Nile brought in 1985?
I'm going to guess that it makes about $22 million.
Okay, it actually brought in $68.2 million
Jesus Christ.
in the theaters.
That's why they wanted to make more of these.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, Paige, that alone right there would be $203.9 million today if you adjust for inflation. So yeah, from 25 was the budget at the time to 68 at the time. That's really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it made plenty of money in the theaters. I don't have home market and stuff, but I'm sure it's made plenty of money in those too. So it definitely was a profitable movie, but that's your box office. But Paige, do you want to hit us with that romance scale?
Sure. Our romance scale is a scale of 1 to 4 of how romantic we found the film today, with 1 being 1 and 4 being 4. Todd?
I'm going to give it a 1. This is not romantic at all.
Same. It's a 1 for me, dog.
Yeah.
And that's your romance scale.
All right. So this week, Paige, you made us watch Jewel of the Nile. Next week, I'm going to make you watch a movie that came out in 1998 featuring one Antonio Banderas.
Ooh.
And
Don't threaten me with a good time.
the wife of Michael Douglas, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and that movie is often requested in the Facebook group.
Often requested.
The Mask of Zorro.
Yay.
So that's your homework for next week. Guys, I cannot wait.
Awesome. Hey, do you have any reviews for us, Todd?
I do. I'm going to read a review from our most recent Fool's Gold episode from Spotify. And I'll just say this. There were a few comments that were just like, I was here before they fixed the typo. And guys, the typo was in the episode title way longer than it should have been. It was like midday that I was like, oh, it says Fool's Goal, not Fool's Gold. So I had to fix that. But I am going to read this comment from, well, I'm not going to read this because it might be a phone number. And I'm sorry, I'm just not going to read it because it might be a phone number.
867-5
Yes. Okay, so Jenny, this comment comes in from Jenny. I'm about to send Paige a katana in the mail and with a note that says, no cuts.
Yes.
Do it.
I love receiving swords in the mail.
Well, man, next week is going to be a time for you. But if you want to have me read your 5-star Apple review or Spotify comment, leave us one of those things and I'll do exactly that. So yeah, if you guys like this show and want to hear our other show where we talk about horror movies, that is The Horror Virgin. That's the only other podcast I am on, but Paige is also on Cult Podcast, which you can find at Cult Podcast. And you can find us on social media. I am at Todd J. Awesome, literally everywhere. Paige is at Paige Wesley on Instagram.
No, it's at Rampage Wesley on Instagram and TikTok, at Paige Wesley on Twitter.
That's right. All right. So that's where you can find Paige. If you want to find the show, we are at Romancing the Pod Show, right?
Yep, Romancing Pod Show on Twitter.
Well, and Instagram, right?
And Instagram, but it's show SHO because character limits. If you start typing Romancing the Pod, it'll come up.
It'll definitely come up on Instagram. I don't know about Twitter because I haven't posted on Twitter in a hot ass minute. So like, who knows? But that is where you can find more of us. So yeah, guys, give us a follow. Support the show any way you can. We'd love it.
Smash that like button.
Hell yeah.
That's going to be it for us. You guys, I'm Paige.
And I'm Todd.
And you complete us.
To completion. Bye. Michael Douglas is no Lawrence Olivier nerds.